Have you ever noticed how the people who obsess over money the most are often the ones who struggle to keep it? While those who seem to effortlessly attract wealth are focused on something completely different. There's a reason for this paradox, and understanding it could completely transform your relationship with money forever. I used to be one of those people checking my bank account multiple times a day, stressed about every dollar that went out, celebrating every dollar that came in. Money consumed my thoughts from morning until night. But here's what nobody tells you about this mindset. It's actually repelling the very thing you're desperately trying to attract. The fundamental shift that changed everything for me happened when I realized money isn't the destination. It's the vehicle. And once you understand this distinction, everything about how you approach earning, spending, and building wealth transforms completely. Think about the wealthiest people you know or admire. Are they sitting around counting their money all day? Are they constantly talking about how much they have in the bank? Absolutely not. They're talking about problems they're solving, communities they're building, innovations they're creating. The money is simply the byproduct of their focus on something much bigger. This is where most people get it backwards. They put money on a pedestal, worship it like some kind of deity, and wonder why it keeps slipping through their fingers. But money doesn't want to be worshipped, it wants to be used. It wants to flow, it wants to accomplish something meaningful. Let me give you a perfect analogy that will make this crystal clear. Imagine you're a carpenter, and you become completely obsessed with collecting hammers. You spend all your time researching the best hammers, comparing prices, admiring your hammer collection, showing them off to friends. But you never actually use them to build anything. How successful would you be as a carpenter? You'd have the most beautiful hammer collection in the neighborhood and absolutely nothing to show for your skills. This is exactly what happens when people make money their primary focus instead of their tool. They become collectors instead of builders. They hoard instead of create. And ironically, this approach limits their ability to generate more money because they're not using it for its intended purpose. The most successful people I know have completely flipped this script. They ask themselves one crucial question every single day. What am I building? Not how much am I making, not how much am I saving, but what am I constructing with the resources I have available? Maybe you're building financial security for your family. Maybe you're building a business that solves a real problem in the world. Maybe you're building your own freedom from a job you hate. Maybe you're building the ability to support causes you care about. The specific goal doesn't matter as much as having one that's bigger than just accumulating numbers in a bank account. When you shift your focus to building something meaningful, something magical happens. Money starts flowing toward your vision because you're using it the way it was designed to be used. You're not holding on to it with clenched fists. You're investing it strategically. You're not afraid to spend it on things that move you closer to your goal. You're making calculated decisions about where it can have the most impact. This mindset shift also changes how you approach earning money. Instead of asking, how can I make more money, you start asking, how can I create more value? Instead of focusing on what you can get, you focus on what you can give. And here's the beautiful irony. The more value you create for others, the more money flows back to you. I've seen this principle work in every industry imaginable. The restaurant owner who focuses on creating the best possible dining experience instead of just maximizing profit per plate. The consultant who genuinely cares about solving client problems instead of just billing more hours. The content creator who prioritizes helping their audience instead of just monetizing their attention. In every case, when someone shifts from money as the goal to money as the tool, their financial results improve dramatically. Not immediately, not overnight, but consistently and sustainably over time. But here's what you need to understand. This isn't just some feel-good philosophy. This is practical psychology. When money is your primary focus, you operate from a scarcity mindset. You make decisions based on fear. You hold back from investments that could grow your wealth because you're too attached to what you currently have. When money becomes your tool, you operate from an abundance mindset. You make decisions based on opportunity. You're willing to invest in yourself, your business, your relationships, because you understand that money is meant to be put to work, not hoarded under a mattress. So here's your challenge for this week. Every time you make a financial decision, ask yourself this question. Am I using this money as a tool to build something bigger, or am I just moving numbers around? Start thinking like an architect instead of an accountant. Focus on what you're constructing instead of what you're collecting. The people who understand this principle don't just build wealth, they build legacy, they build impact. They build the life they actually want, instead of just accumulating resources they're too afraid to use. Which type of builder do you want to become?